Today's theme is It's a Long Time Coming. And we know that all too well, and I'm sure you'll hear that in all the remarks, but we are excited to move this project forward. We have a number of people to recognize and introduce, starting, of course, with our County Executive, Marc Elrich. Speaking on behalf of the County Council, District Council member Kate Stewart, District 4, excuse me. We also have from the County Council, Councilmember Will Jawando, Councilmember Andrew Friedson, Councilmember Evan Glass, and I'm not sure if Shebra Evans is here yet, but she is probably on her way. Also, we have the District 18 team, led by Senator Jeff Wallstreicher. I saw Emily Shetty's here, Jared Solomon, and I don't know if, is Aaron Kaufman here yet? Aaron wanted to be here, can't make it today. From the town of Kensington, we have the mayor, Tracey Furman. Councilmember Nate Engel. There's Nate, all the way in the back there. And Stewart Sparker, also in the back. Thank you. And I also wanted to shout out for, and I don't know if Matt's here, but Matt Hoffman, the town manager. He's not here, but he's a good contact of mine, and we do a lot of work together, so I wanted to recognize him. Of course, we have the director of the Department of Public Libraries, Darcel Graham, as well as the Noyes Children's Library Foundation, Karen Beardsley. Now, I know there are lots of foundation members, and I don't want to steal anybody's thunder in recognizing other people, but Carrie, Amelia, Abigail, Diana, Beth, all of the folks that we've been working with for the last 15 years or so, and the list goes on, but welcome and thank you for being here. I also want to introduce Nadia Klute. Where's Nadia? Nadia is our Mid-County Regional Services Center Director. Kirill Resnick, I saw him somewhere. Where's Kirill? Did he already leave? Wow. He was here. I saw him. Matt Barkley from our ADA office. Where's Matt? Matt, right in the middle. As I said, I'm with the Department of General Services. My boss, David Dice, who many of you know, this is really his bread and butter. He loves these events. He loves ribbon cuttings even more. He has a very good excuse for not being here today. He's probably live streaming this driving down Interstate 81, but it's a family event. It's a good family event, and we're happy that he's able to be with his family today and not here. But he sends his regards. My Division of Building Design and Construction Chief, Hamid Omadvar, is in the back there, and he is joined with our project manager, Matt Brew. Matt is going to be the guy doing this project. And I also want to introduce Keller Brothers, who will be the general contractor for this job, and Sandy is, where is she? Oh, she's way in the back. Sandy's going to be the superintendent for the job. You'll see a lot of her on site. Also, I just, and this is the last recognition, and unless I've missed anybody, slip me a note, and I'll make sure that we catch them on the next side. But our Office of Budget and Management has been really critical in following this project for so long, and so I want to give a shout out to Deborah Lambert, who is the analyst on this project. She has been with this project for nearly 15 years, and really a lot of resolve to see it through, and been tracking all of the state grants with the foundation, et cetera, and Deborah's been a consistent player throughout. So this building dates back to 1893. And like many historic buildings, the current building is not accessible in many ways. It lacks adequate staff areas and restroom facilities and the meeting spaces to fully support the community. And we're going to fix all that. This scope of work includes converting the attic into a finished second floor, renovating the original first floor library room, creating a finished basement, and of course adding an elevator on this side to provide universal access. We got some pictures up here up front that you can take, and of course everyone is invited to tour the facility afterwards. But it's going to be a lot different when we're done with it in a good way, and we're very excited to move forward. Since the beginning, since the county executive took office 7.5 years ago, his preceding 12 years on the county council gave him a lot of insight into this project. He knew it backwards and forwards when he came into office, and it was one of the first projects that we briefed him on. And his instructions to us that day and ever since have been figure out a way to get this done, find a way. And that's been the challenge year after year after year. So I'd like to invite Marc up to, for his remarks, County Executive Marc Elrich.
So this is truly a long time coming. I was talking to Abigail before, and she told me she was like on the first board, and it was like 1991 that they, so 35 years. That's a long time to arrive, and I'm really glad we've arrived here, and I'm really glad, Abigail, you get to see this because you worked so hard and so long, and all the other members of the board and the community that have been engaged in this for such a long time. It is, you know, kind of like the foundation of this community. It's kind of the heart of Kensington in a lot of ways. And it's this little one-room library. It's a special place for the social and cultural center of the community. And it's a place that welcomes families to read and play together. And it was really nice. I got to go inside and see all these kids running around on the inside. And it was really nice to see all those kids on the inside there. And it's just, I imagine this is going to be a trauma to have this thing closed for a little while, but when it reopens, it's going to be bigger and better, and it's going to do more than it even does today. Noyes is where for a lot of children, the reading journey begins. I'm a former teacher. I know how important that is, and seeing kids doing early learning exercises and learning to read early is really important for their development. And it also induces a sense of imagination. Kids get to see things and imagine things and turn the words into images in their heads, and it's a really important part of learning and development. The Noyes Library for Young Children is only one of about 8 libraries in the United States that's dedicated exclusively to serving children and their families. And as I said before, this was built in 1893. It's the oldest library building in the region. It's actually 40 years older than the Library of Congress Jefferson building. Pretty old building. But by the time we moved to the new chapter in this 133-year-old story, it's now time for the groundbreaking. And today's groundbreaking is symbolic of the start of construction. This library's groundbreaking is in another way. The renovation is going to transform this facility into a very different space. You're getting a basement with spaces for meetings that didn't exist before. You're getting a usable second floor. Basically, you're getting 2/3 of usable space in addition to the third that's here today. So it's a really significant improvement. And I was just hearing about how the elevator got approved. And I will say that the Historic Preservation Commission did get to approve it, and they did accept the idea. But I was told they wanted it to look distinctly different from the building because they didn't want anybody to think that it was actually part of the building when it was built. So they wanted it delineated as clearly modern as opposed to historic structure. And I thought that was a little interesting footnote to put in your bonnets there. Library is one of our most important public investments that we can make. And library is one of the first things we tried to bring back after the pandemic. When we were struggling, we wanted to get these things back open. People really miss them. They're really important places for people to go, children to go. And so I'm really glad to see all this system back and strong. And the libraries have to be accessible to all, and that's what this project's going to do. It will truly make this library accessible to everybody. We have a long list of renovations that are going to preserve the library's unique character while making all the critical improvements that are needed. The renovations are possible because they're generous partners. Two groups really helped enormously. One was the Friends. Your work here made it possible to, because having worked with you for so long, you knew from the beginning this was a big lift for the county to do. The cost of this is not a cheap project. And you recognized that there was a role to play for the community, and I really want to thank you for that. And I really want to thank also the state legislature. Jared Solomon, you bird dogged this, you and Jeff. Really happy to see this project come through. Emily, thank you. But I give Jared credit because Jared's back on this. But you all made it clear that it was also important, and you made it really clear because you put money in it. And money's probably the best sign of clarity that anybody gets. So thank you for providing that kind of clarity. I want to thank everybody who helped us to get to this milestone, and we're committed to seeing this project through. Hopefully within a year to a year and a half, we come back here for ribbon cutting, coming back for ribbon cutting would be a great thing to do, so I'm looking forward to it. So thank you all for being here, and back to you, Greg. Back to Greg.
Thank you, Mark. We mentioned partnership, and our next speaker is speaking on behalf of the County Council, Councilmember Kate Stewart. Not only is she the District Council member, she also chairs the Government Operations Committee, which is where our budget goes first. And critically important. And Kate, if I'm not mistaken, it was during your term as council president when you and the county executive got together and really pushed this thing into the end zone. So thank you, and we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am thrilled to be here today as the district council member, and also with my colleagues on the county council, Councilmember Giwando, Glass, and Friedson. And I'm just going to say to the foundation and all the friends of the library, when I first got elected and took over this part of Montgomery County from Councilmember Friedson, this was at the top of the list. You know, Councilmember Friedson helped me do a little like, okay, here are things that in your district that I used to represent, and here are some things that aren't quite finished yet. Noyes Library was at the top of that list, and we needed to work hard, as Greg said, to make sure that we move this forward. I'm also going to credit our director of libraries, who came in about the same time at a very critical meeting that we had with our DA team with Delegate Solomon, to make sure that the project kept moving forward and move forward with all the pieces to it, as the county executive talked about. And so I'm just really glad to be here and know that this was a team effort. This took community members. This took our state legislature. This took the city of the town of Kensington, who's here today, the county exec's office, and all of us to be able to get here today. I will also say there's a quote from Ursula Le Guin, who said, "A library is a focal point, a sacred place to a community." And I really think Noyes is that. It is a children's library, and our littlest residents do benefit, but our entire community benefits from this library. It is the heart and soul here. And I know it's going to be tough to have it closed, but hopefully it will be for only a short amount of time, because it gives so much back to this community. And I know a lot of people are going to speak today, so I didn't want to repeat how awesome the library is and everything that's going to happen. But I did want to leave us with a poem from Nikki Giovanni. Her poem is "A Library." A library is a place to be free, to be in space, to be in cave times, to be a cook, to be a crook, to be in love, to be unhappy, to be quick and smart, to be contained and cautious, to surf the rainbow, to sail the dreams, to be blue, to be jazz, to be wonderful, to be you. A place to be. Yay, a place to be. And we know that's what this library is. We know that that's what the town of Kensington is to so many. And I'm just thrilled to be here today with all of you and look forward to moving the project forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Also wanted to mention, and I omitted this originally, but our architect on the project, Grim and Parker, and Rick is in the back there. I think he's way, way in the back. So thank you. Good to see you again, Rick. Our next speaker is Senator Wallstreicher. The last time that I introduced Jeff, we were at the Wheaton Rec and Library project, and it was about 95 degrees, and there were about 300 people waiting to get into the air-conditioned facility. And so I dialed up some better weather this time, Jeff. But on behalf of District 18 and the entire team, thank you. And if you could come on up, I just will say that the state aid and the state funding in this project dates back many, many years. It is, and I dare I say, sustained support, but it is a lot of support over a number of years, tracked and utilized, and we've received reimbursements for some of it's forthcoming, and we're still receiving FY27 and hopefully beyond. So, Jeff Wallstreicher. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is a long time coming, and you've heard so much about that. I grew up in Silver Spring. I was unfamiliar with Noyes Children's Library, but 20 years ago, I moved to Kensington and adopted Kensington as my hometown, and Kensington has been so wonderful to adopt me. Kensington is a special place, and Noyes Children's Library is at the core of what Kensington is. It's not a shock when I say that politics right now, and we work in politics, is a strange thing. And you have people really pining for simplicity and small town values. And that's what we live every day here in Kensington. Kensington is very much the best of us. And this is an incredible example of that. I've raised my children at this library. I'm so excited that future generations will be able to enjoy this the way my family has enjoyed it. I don't mean to get deep, but the people who built this building behind us 133 years ago, 0 of them are with us now. And 133 years from now, 0 of us will be here when the fruits of this project continue to be enjoyed. But our grandchildren and our grandchildren's grandchildren will continue to bear the fruit of that legacy of everything we're doing today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Here in government, our job is to build things like this. And so I appreciate the opportunity to speak. But the real credit goes to the, the private citizens and who really put this together, the political support and the money. So thank you again to all of you. Let me turn it over to my partners in the work and delegate Emily Shetty.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning, everybody. What an amazing day to be out here celebrating this incredible project. I want to make a quick note and just say you heard in, I think, the speeches before ours, one name repeated a couple of times, and that was Jared Solomon. And I'm so happy that that was the case because Delegate Solomon has been, on behalf of our delegation, one of the true champions of this project. He has convened our delegation. He worked through and negotiated on behalf of our district with our appropriations committee a huge amount of the state funding that actually came for this project. And so I just want to take a moment to thank you, friend, for all that you've done to make sure that this project is possible. And I want to take a moment as well first, I also need to introduce my son, Aiden, who's excited to be here today. He is heading to Taekwondo after this, so he's dressed the part. But he also spent so many of his early years here at the library because, we don't live too far from here. And so we're super proud to support this project. We can't wait to see what it looks like when it's finished and to be able to convene here with all of you. And without further ado, I want to introduce my good friend, Delegate Jared Solomon, and also say that Delegate Aaron Kaufman really wishes he could be here today, but he sends his best regards.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Emily. Thank you, Jeff. My littlest one, Charlie, is over there, and actually was very sad as we walked here this morning that we weren't going inside quite yet. Similar as you've heard, my kids are literally growing up here. And before I make a couple of remarks, I did want to just extend my thank you to a couple of folks who are also not here. Former Delegate Al Carr, who's a Kensington resident, former Senator Madaleno. This has been a long project, and many of us in the delegation have fought for the funding that allowed us to get here. I won't start to thank the folks in the foundation because I will forget somebody, and I know Karen will do that, but there were a lot of late night phone calls over long holiday weekends, last minute strategy sessions to make sure that we got to this day. And to say that none of this would have happened without them is an understatement. I know Councilmember Friedson, Councilmember Stewart recognized him, but Andrew used to represent this district and great partnership there. Former Councilmember Gabe Albernaz, who also raised his kids here, who lives across the Connecticut, was also really instrumental in helping us with this. I don't think it's an understatement to say that literally folks in this community, I think, can measure the time that they've raised their children by this library. The number of folks, particularly lately as we've been sharing the really great news, who have told me,
my kids are in their 30s, but I remember when we used to come to Noyes. My oldest is about to turn 6, and I still think, man, we used to come here and just get picture books, and then we got board books, and now we're getting chapter books. And I'm not going to start to cry because he's going to turn 6 later this week. But this library is literally how people in our community measure their children's lives. And when they reflect back on the best parts of this community, Noyes is at the heart of that. And so to be able to continue that work to make sure that every member of our community can benefit from this, but not even just from the library piece of it. One of our huge priorities at the state, working with the State Department of Education and our new state superintendent, is around literacy. And the idea here that we are now going to have meeting space that will allow not only the community to be able to use this, but teachers and educators from across the region to be able to come here to learn how to become better educators themselves, how to make sure that every child can read, just fills my heart with an incredible amount of joy. So I can't wait to be here for the ribbon cutting. I know my son's going to be sad that it's going to be closed for a year, but when we reopen this, it is going to be such an absolute beacon for our region and our community. And just thank you to everybody who has made this possible.
Thank you to our District 18 team. Our next speaker is Kensington Mayor Tracey Furman. I will tell you that whenever we have a capital project that's within a municipality here in the county, it's instant advocacy for the project, and this is no exception. Tracey, in particular, has been a force, an advocate for the project since the very beginning. She reaches out regularly to the Department of General Services, to libraries, to our budget office to help facilitate, not to ask what's the status, where is it, when's it going to start, and those sorts of things, but how can we help? How can we facilitate? Is there anything that we need? Everybody's sitting in the town right-of-way right now, that is arranged by the town, and a lot of the other things that you don't see go on behind the scenes, which is why I wanted to say shout out to Matt as well, because it's a team effort, and under her leadership, this project would not be happening today. Tracey Furman. Want me to hold the leash?
Sure. She won't go anywhere, but that's okay. Thank you so much, Greg. And I want to give a shout out to you because you've always been so helpful. He returns my calls, he answers my emails, and he's always up front with me, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm excited to be here. My dog, Aberdeen, is excited to be here. So I want to thank the town of Kensington because we committed to this project when the foundation was formed and was fighting to keep this library open. The town itself pledged $150,000 to this project. We have a resolution on our agenda next week to give the additional $25,000, which will get us to $125,000. And then in our next fiscal year, FY27, we had the other $25,000 ready to go. We're also supporting the foundation through the Maryland House and Garden Pilgrimage that's coming up June 7th. Hope everybody buys a ticket because it too will support Noyes Library Foundation, which has helped so much to get this project going. So big shout out to our residents. It's truly the dedication to this project has been townwide, not just to the elected officials. And also, this is just so exciting. We have two historic gyms in our town. One is the library, of course, and then Warner Mansion across the street. Both are being renovated and going to have new lives, for the future. And we're so very excited. So thank you very much, and thank you, Greg, for holding my dog. Oh, good.
Thank you, Tracey. And Tracey mentioned the Warner Mansion project here across. There was also a partnership with the county and the Parks Department on a very cool project. So while you're here, please check it out if you haven't seen it already. And buy a condo, apparently. Good pitch. Our next speaker is our MCPL Director, Darcel Graham. And as she's coming up, come on up, Darcel. I don't know how long we're going to get to say that you've only been here a short time, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it one more time. But the amount of energy that Darcel has brought to the county, and injected into the process in the Department of Libraries and with the partners like DGS and our budget office is astounding, really. Darcel and I broke ground on Shady Grove Library branch just last week. She's going to have this one, and next year she's going to break ground on the Clarksburg Library. So she's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And there is no coincidence that her coming to the county and this project getting underway at its current timeline. And so I wanted to ask Darcel to come up and share her comments as well.
Thank you. Well, good morning. It's been really wonderful to walk around and meet the community members, and I just want to thank you for your warm welcome. It's been about 18 months since I've been leading this wonderful system and working to represent all of you, and I feel like I'm truly blessed to be here, so thank you. I would first like to thank Councilmember Kate Stewart for all of her advocacy for the Noyes project, as well as County Executive Marc Elrich, County Council, and everyone in the county staff for making all of your leadership and support in this project happen. I would also sincerely like to thank and recognize the Noyes Children's Library Foundation, the Noyes Library Advisory Committee, the state of Maryland, and the towns of Kensington for their partnership. It is truly meaningful to stand here at Noyes at this moment of transition, honoring what this place has been for generations of children, while preparing it for those who have yet to discover it. Noyes Library for Young Children is not just another branch in our MCPL system. It is a space intentionally created for early childhood exploration, where curiosity is encouraged, where caregivers and children learn together, and where the foundations of literacy and confidence begin to take shape. As we look forward to this renovation, this will allow us to preserve the purpose while strengthening how we deliver on it. The improvements planned for this building are thoughtful and transformative. The new lower and upper levels will give us dedicated room for programming and staff support, along with additional restrooms to better serve your families. We also recognize that with constructions comes patience. During the closure, we encourage families to stay connected with us. The Kensington Library, just nearby, is ready to welcome you with our wonderful collections, story times, and programs. And across Montgomery County Public Libraries, our digital resources from ebooks to virtual programming remain available anytime, ensuring that learning and discovery never pause. Today is not just the beginning of this construction. It is about reaffirming our commitment to the youngest members of our community and to the families who support them. We are building a space that reflects your needs, their potential, and our children's future. So again, thank you for being part of this important milestone and for supporting the next chapter of the Noyes Library for Young Children.
Thank you, Darcel. We left the best for last, and this is the Noyes Foundation. Of course, I'm going to ask Karen to come up, but Karen is part of a team, and there are a lot of people involved, and I'm sure she's going to welcome all of them. Back here on this table, we've got obviously some water in case you need that, but we have these keychains for this event. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knows where they are so you can pick one up. But the first one is going to go to Karen and the Noyes Foundation.
Oh.
So,
For all of us.
so
Thank you.
we've got that. And then there are plenty of them. So I was thinking, as I was carrying the box up here, I thought, whatever's left over, mail them out to those donors from all over the country and the world. As a token. And so we'll make sure that there are plenty left over. So without further ado, Karen Beardsley.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Many years ago, the Noyes Children's Library Foundation was established to make sure that this incredible, historic library would remain open would remain a library where readers get started. Since 1991, the foundation has financially supported Noyes in partnership with Montgomery County to keep the doors open for children and for the community.
Today we're gathered to celebrate the upcoming renovation that guarantees that Noyes Children's Library will be here for the future. We wouldn't be here without the support from County Executive Marc Elrich, from Delegate Jared Solomon, from Councilmember Kate Stewart, and from Mayor Tracey. Thank you very much for all of your help. And I know there's more than that, but we only have so much time. We are so very grateful for this incredible community, for all their support, and for their generous donations over the past 10 years. We are proud to honor the foundation members who aren't here today for their leadership and hard work, and to finally and properly recognize the lifelong dedication and devotion of Jan Jablonski to children and to Noyes. This renovation creates space for the Jan Jablonski Early Literacy Training Center, providing an important county and state resource for study, learning, teaching, and reading to young children. We cannot say how thrilled we are to be here for this groundbreaking to make more noise, finally. Thank you for celebrating with us today.
Thank you, Karen, and we certainly appreciate your patience through all this. Okay, so that's it for the speaker program. We're gonna get everybody over to the side here, and if I could provide some instructions to the people who are holding the shovels, we're gonna kind of tilt you to the right a little bit so that we get a good camera angle, and we'll throw some dirt.